The African Pulse.
A weekly broadcast that takes you across Africa.
Different topics.
Culture.
Tech. Health.
Economy.
And even politics.
The African Pulse.
Only on Africa FM.
Hello, welcome in Jumbo Africa. This is Imanuad, your host to the show where stories shape perspective and conversations inspire connection. And today on the African Pulse, we are going to explore a subject that influences every aspect of modern society today, and that is journalism and the media in Africa. So, as we know, today's digital world, information travels faster than light, and it's travel faster than before. We know this as it is a fast era. This is the era they call it the fastest, I believe, and the news no longer wait for tomorrow's newspaper or the evening's television bulletin or even the radios. And now it reaches us instantly through smartphones, through social media and online platforms, and even citizen journalists that now are trending. So traditional journalism continues to play an important role, while digital platforms have opened new opportunities for storytelling, for public participation as well as accountability. And at the same time, the transformation has brought new challenges, including misinformation, fake news, as well as the ethical concern and pressure to report quickly rather than accurately. Among all of this, the technology continues to reshape communication, and our important question stands out. How is journalism evolving Africa's digital age, and what does it mean for the future of credible information? Now, this topic today that we are discussing is journalism and the media in Africa navigating the digital age. So this conversation is about technology. It's more actually than just technology. It is about truth, about responsibility, and even about the freedom of expression as well as innovation and the power of information to shape societies. From professional journalists adapting to digital platform to young content creators influencing the public opinion, our Africa today is more than just media. Now it is a landscape changing in remarkable ways. So, my dears, our core question for this episode is: how can journalism remain credible, ethical, and impactful while embracing the opportunities of the digital era? And to discuss and delve more into this, I am pleased to be joined by Moise Self. Hello, Moise.
Hello.
And it is worthy to note that Moise is from Congo. And of course, I shouldn't forget Edmore Cachasso from Zimbabwe. Hello.
Hi, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, and we are having a new guest with us here, Leroy Bandura from Zim as well. Hello, Leroy.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing good. So, guys, we are going to delve right into our first segment of the day, and that would be journalism in the digital era. As we know, this is the new generation. It's not like before, as journalism used to be more about the press media and more about television and radio, but it is now taking a new shape. Now it's digital. Now we see it in Facebook. We see it on different social media platforms as well as websites. So during all of this, we see that the journalism indeed changing and evolving in Africa. And for decades, the old media, as in the newspapers, as in the radio and so on, they used to have a huge impact on the community, on the audience, but it is now different compared in the digital era. So now we see transformation as how stories are being produced, as how it's been shared and even censored or consumed at times. So independent media organizations have have expanded the reach through the different online platforms, and at the same time journalists face increasing pressure to verify the information, to deliver it more accurately, where in the environment sometimes is full of misinformation and that spreads rapidly. So how has this digital age changed the journalism across Africa from your perspective, Moise?
Well, like you said, the time changed. Like before, the endpoint were like newspaper, like the radio, like a radio station. But now the endpoint today is a smartphone.
Yes.
Everyone has a smartphone. Everyone can have access to any source of media, and that changes everything, because at the same endpoint can be a source of information, but at the same time can be a source of misinformation, because everyone has access to it. Like anyone can misinform willingly or unwillingly, and that makes it different. For before like to have to be able to publish something, you needed to be accredited. You needed to have a specific role. But now in the modern society, things are different. So we're safe to say that the digital area gives new opportunities with their own challenges.
Yes, indeed it does, because before the, let's say the information check or the double check used to exist, and they used to verify and make the information credible before sharing, but it's kind of hard to control with digital
Exactly.
age. And do you think the same thing, Edmore? Since we are discussing about journalism now, you are starting to be one yourself, being a columnist for our radio Ifriqiya FM. So what is your perspective and intake on this?
For me, what I have seen actually, based from like when I was in Zimbabwe, I remember, like the news and like all those things, like they like for elderly people. Like the younger generation, you don't see like me stressing with the newspaper. Like, oh, like come on now, why are you even reading a newspaper? But like we know, like those old ages, they will be reading newspapers. But now, everyone, like even if you want to, like when like Moise was saying, like willingly or like you end up like getting that information, because almost everyone right now has a cell phone.
Yes, because they have access to it, the easy access for the information.
It's easy like to access things. So
indeed it is. Leroy, you more than a journalist, you are one of the audience, a receiver, if I may say, and you definitely go through different social media platforms to get information. So can you tell us what is your intake on this? We would love to hear a perspective of the audience, and we are pleased to have Leroy here to share his perspective with us.
Of course.
Yeah, thank you very much for the time. So I'm actually with you guys on this fact that nowadays journalism can't compare it as to the social media, like how fast news moves using the social media. A few days ago, I just watched a reel on Instagram. It was saying like, have you noticed how much people are now more focused on cell phones rather than television? Because take example for us, when we grow up, we would watch news on television. Would know a specific time that at 8 o'clock, if you want to know news,
he mentioned something very important. Yes, indeed, and it used even to be like a time where the family gathers.
Exactly. You watch news as a family. If you want a certain specific news, you watch it at a specific time. But nowadays, if I just wanna, let's say I'm not following football, just like me. I'm not a person who follows football. But yesterday, I just wanted to see the score line. I just opened Google. Then what's the score? I saw it's 1-0 Argentina versus Egypt. Then I just find the score. So it's no longer a question of do you have the newspaper? Is there a specific time? You get information at whatever time you get. Anytime.
Yes, exactly. Like so now it's just accessible to everyone.
Exactly.
It used to be more controlled, and now it's like free.
I
call it liberate. I don't say like it's not controlled, but it's like more liberate. You can have access anytime. But you see that this media could give like different opportunities. So what opportunities has this digital media created for journalists and for audience alike? Like for you yourself, what opportunities do you see this digital media creates?
Personally, for me, media, I'm a person who's also still trying to make his own content. So as a person who's trying to make content, it's free. You can also start your own life. Let's say you gather some information. You can give information freely to a certain group of people. That's also a form of journalism. You gather information, you make sure this information, you validate the
Kind of a
information.
digital creator and influencer of sort, but you have your let's say theme, and that is to give information,
Yeah,
right?
you can also do that. As
Yeah,
a form of journalism.
that's one way to
It's
put
an
it. That's a
opportunity.
good one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one way to put it. And Moise, what do you think?
Well, I actually wanted
Add.
to react on what Leroy said. I wanted to talk about the time has changed. Like you mentioned you talked about how past in the days, like families used to gather to watch the news together.
Yeah.
Like it was one way to socialize, right?
Yes.
Like the information
Let's call it to bond.
to bond,
yeah.
right?
Yes.
And some people tend to think that we no longer have that opportunity to bond in a family because we're no longer together watching news or just TV in general. But it's actually still there, but it's just changed.
Yes.
Like let me make it clear.
Exactly.
Most of us are in family groups,
Yes.
WhatsApp groups.
Yes.
And that's the new way to bond because
Okay.
today like let's make a comparison. Before, like we used to talk on the table with families during the dinner
Dinners.
and or lunch and watch the news together with our parents and talk as well. But now, because the news can be easily accessible on our phones, we use our phones to do everything, to watch news, one, and to bond as well, two,
yeah.
with our family through applications. So, like it's I don't want to say that we no longer have time or the space to bond, but it's just a new way that changed with the technology area in which we are right now. So journalism is indeed still a profession, like very ruled. Like it's there's a lot of rules. There's a lot of verification, clarification that needs to be applied. But the fact, like, to be a columnist, for example, you can be a columnist. You don't need to be accredited by anyone. You can make your own podcast, let's say on Instagram or whatsoever. Like, as long as what you say brings an audience, it can be a media for the people, and that changes everything compared to the old times where journalists were limited to only paper, radio, and TV stations.
So what you're saying is that we shouldn't blame the tool. We should just know how to use it.
Exactly.
That's
It's
what I
like
gathered.
blaming the calculator, like saying that one is becoming lazy because he's using the calculator.
yeah.
Like there are scenarios in which the calculator is mandatory. You cannot do it with your
Without
brain. Like
calculator.
even Einstein,
You
I
gotta
guess,
do this, yeah.
I guess, but I'm just saying, like, yeah.
Yeah, we gather what you're trying to say. Thank you, Moise, for sharing this.
You're welcome.
And there is more to discuss in the second segment. So, my dear listeners, we will stop right here for a shorter music break, and then we come back. Don't move, don't go too far, and enjoy this.
I wanna be in your life until the night is over. I wanna hold you so tight, coming closer. It's been a hell of a ride, but every single moment you were there by my side. Whenever I'm broken, you make me feel whole. Whenever I'm lonely, you're there for my soul. Wherever you are, girl, that's where I call my own. Whenever you doubt it, I'll be letting you know. Oh, girl, I want to be dancing with you forever. You see through the storm and take me as I am. Baby, it's magic anytime that we're together. I make I just love you and hold you for my hand. Hold you for my hand. Hold you for my hand. Hold you for my hand.
Over and over again, yeah, my love is burning, babe. Feels like time is frozen and the night is for us. We're alone again, every moment's golden, yeah. Feelings I've been holding in, it must be love.
magic anytime that we're together. I make her just love you and hold you for my hand. 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 I wanna be in your light until the night is over. I wanna hold you so tight, coming closer. I wanna be in your light until the night is over, until the night is over, until the night is over.
Welcome back, dear listeners. I hope you enjoyed this song by Burna Boy and Ed Sheeran. Now we are delving into our second segment, and that is challenges, ethics, and the future of African media. So this time we'll be looking ahead of the future of journalism in Africa. As we know, the digital, evolution continues to create excited possibilities for many youth, and of course for everyone who's interested in media. And we see the artificial intelligence evolving as well here, the podcasting, the data journalism, as well as mobile reporting and multimedia storytelling are also changing the profession. So yes, some challenges do remain, but the media freedom and financial sustainability, as well as the online harassment and the press independence, all of these points that we need to discuss, that they all are considered to be challenges, but there is also a critical point that we have to mention, and that is combating the misinformation, because it's a continuous battle for journalists that keep testing the credibility of journalism. And the future of African journalism will depend not only on technology but also on ethics, on professionalism, as well as the public trust. So the question we ask here and right now: can journalists maintain the credibility in public trust in an era of instant information and artificial intelligence and this evolving technology?
Yes, I'm going to talk about three things. Like the first thing is they have to be honest, and this is actually one of the fundamentals of journalism. Like you're a journalist, Iman, and you know that as journalists, we are forced and obliged to be partial, like on things. We're not supposed to take sides. We're just supposed to relay information. That's one thing. The second thing, all the information that we relay need to be sourced. Like we need to mention the sources that we get. So on that one, like when like, and at times we think to blame AI, saying that it's let's say not a good thing, but AI can be a very good help. Like for example, if me, a journalist, I'm journalist, I'm doing an interview, I'm interviewing someone, like it's a 1 hour interview, I have to write an essay about you, I have to write an article. Like in the old times, the journalist would re-listen to it. He's going to transcript with his hand, by hand, like it need to take time. But today with AI, you can use a random web app or an AI feature, something to help you transcript the interview and have a summary, then prepare your article, and that changes everything. So AI can be of use, but the thing is, as a journalist, for ethical reasons, we need to be honest and mention when we use AI and how we use it, why we use it. Then that makes a big difference.
So we have to keep it under guidelines and not to go out of the frame. That's a good way to put it.
Exactly.
Ed, what do you think about this?
Yeah, for me, I feel like ETF actually made like things easier, like working. I feel like when like long back, it was kind of tiresome. No, you have to do everything. If you go, maybe you interview people, you get that information that you get, like editing and everything. You have just to correct grammar, and we are human beings, we make mistakes. But AI has made things easier for us. Like Moise, like the way you were saying, if like well managed, I feel like it has made things easier. But obviously people, they end up using it.
Of course, AI is making things easier indeed, because it was created to help the humans to begin with, and to help different fields, not only journalism, but the most important things is the ethical use of it, because sometimes as when we talk AI, we talk about data, we talk about process, and we talk about prompts. And the prompts are very important, because with the wrong prompt, what could be an easy way could turn into a disaster.
Exactly.
For example, for instance, and this is a personal experience that I will be sharing. When I was trying to get to know a certain individual, like a certain person, a high-level person, and I have never met this person before. I had to know information before talking to them, before addressing them, and once I entered the name on Google, I couldn't get anything. So I needed something that would go faster through different websites to gather as much information for me as possible. So it did, but the information it gathered was not updated. So they gave me the information, but it was an outdated information. That person had a new title. That person had a new job, and I didn't know. So when I went to talk to them with their old title, they felt insulted.
Yeah, obviously.
And honestly, I felt embarrassed, so I decided not
Sorry
to do
about
that
that.
again. Yes, so I decided not to do that again. And from this point, I do urge journalists to use it wisely,
Exactly.
with the correct prompts, because a prompt could like help or ruin. So this is something that we do indeed have to mention. And beside that, we do know that journalism in this era with artificial intelligence and everything does face many challenges. And what is like the biggest challenges that could be facing journalists today?
In my opinion, like just to react on what you said, like today, because of AI, everything is thought differently. AI, like the coming of AI, is comparable to the factoring of assets. Like before, people were doing things with using their hands, no tools. Then later on, industrial area changed everything. Like
Yes.
machines started replacing
Replacing
people in
people's
factories.
hands, yeah.
Yes.
And now we have AI doing the same thing. Robots were replacing people that had to do repetitive tasks. But AI is here to help us with our cognitive task. And that makes that makes a big difference, because now search engines such as Google, Opera, and so on, they are built and they are thought to give informations from bots, AI. Like the example that that you gave. You are going to ask something, and today it's actually possible. When you ask something to Google, Gemini is going to reply. Not Google itself. Gemini is the bot of
The bot of Google.
of Google. Gemini is going to reply. Why? Because now search engines are thought with AI. Like the AI is
They're
embarked in
linked.
it. Like it's made to make it easier for you. But at the same time, we're also forced to double check, like Iman said, because AI can make mistakes.
Yes.
There's always a small percentage of mistakes. It's never 100. It can be 99.9999999.
Supervision has to always be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's always a
Yes.
0.0000 to 1% of mistakes. So we have to double check everything, and
Indeed.
that's our job.
Yeah, indeed.
Even more
indeed.
for journalists.
You, from your perspective, Leroy, as one of the audience, can you tell us like what's your intake in this about journalists using AI to facilitate the tasks for them? Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
Whenever we speak of something, like there's always two sides of it. But in this case, I'm gonna take the side that I see, which is being affected most. So we're actually living in a world where people are chasing instant gratification, or we can call it dopamine. So a person is searching for instant news. Whatever you wanna know, you can find it instantly, right? So like, there's a problem with journalism that we might talk about. Like, let's say, because I want something instantly, as a journalist, I could just give people what they want. I won't even bother myself if it's true or fake news. I can just publish whatever kind of news I have. I don't know if you've been following like football lately. There's this keeper from Cape Verde.
Cape Verde.
Yeah,
yes.
that guy
oh,
is
that
Was
blowing
in,
up. You see, but if you
he
check the
did
news,
a great job.
if you check the news, it's been said he has been given like I don't know how many offers from how many clubs, but if you follow and you're trying to find the actual news, you find that maybe he hasn't even been given an offer with any team. So that's my own point of view and my side that I've seen about journalism.
This is kind of journalists that do that ride the trend and try
Yeah.
to gather information. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. They do sell fake news, but
Exactly.
it doesn't mean that all media does the same thing. And
Exactly.
it's a good thing that you mentioned it because fake news could be dangerous. When you said about football, that's one thing. But if it's about political thing,
Yeah,
about
that's-
diplomacy,
that's a
about
problem.
government issues, now this is where it gets dangerous.
It's dangerous,
So
yeah.
people have to be cautious. People have to be awake, and they have to be very careful when it comes to misinformation and fake news, as well as this was a fruitful conversation. Thank you guys for sharing everything that you have shared so far, and we know that this conversation reminds us all that journalism is more than just reporting the news. Now we understand it is about informing, about delivering the correct information, as Leroy was saying. It is also about educating, because we need to be educated more about it, and it's about holding institutions accountable for what they do and giving communities a voice that they didn't have before, as well as strengthening democracy and implementing the voices on let's say that they don't have influence, or that they're not raised enough. As Africa continues to embrace the digital innovation, responsible journalism remains essential for everyone and remains essential for building and informing, as well as empowering societies in our dear continent. Now at the center of it all, we know that the most important thing here is that the African journalism has to continue to evolve while preserving the value of truth, of integrity, and public service as well. So once again, thank you for my dear guests for joining us today. Thank you, Leroy, and thank you, Edmore, as well as Moise. Thank you for joining us on the show, and this is your first time. I forgot to mention this to our audience. We hope to see you more on the show, and thank you, dear listeners, for staying faithful to the last minute, and a big thank you as well to the director of the show that was with us from the beginning, Riyad, Yusuf Khuja, as well as Yasmin Bekay. Now observation with the Tawis, streaming with Islam and Control Board with Karim. Dear listeners, keep enjoying the rest of our programs for your favorite radio channel, Ifriqiya FM, the voice of Africa. Don't move because you will be joined by Yasmin Ben Ashur in The Harvest for the latest news on Africa. So listen to this information because it's on point.
I wasn't looking for forever. Then you walked into my life. Now every road feels a little lighter.